Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Morgan Price and we are back in Stationeers. So today I decided I want to do an intermediate alloys tutorial. So this is stuff like Invar, Constantan, Electrum, solder, those. There's only those four, save for steel, but you already know how to make steel because we covered that in the first furnace episode. So, things to think about. Temps and pressures change based on conditions. So if you're in a cold atmosphere, you're going to lose pressure a lot. If you're in no atmosphere, much like we are right now, your temperature will drop because it's technically no temperature. So it counts as cold. Your pressure will vary depending on your temperatures. So, yeah. Fuel systems are nice, but not always necessary. So, we showed you before that you can use ice to fuel, volatile ice and oxide ice to fuel this. So, you can actually make the alloys that you would be making in this, i.e., Invar, Electrum, Constantan, solder. You could actually make those using just ices. If you're using ice as fuel, try to work when it is nighttime. Direct sunlight will evaporate it. That's what this little room here is all about. It is my fuel ice reserve in case I mess up and I don't have the ice I need. Now, I was originally going to stuff it all into these guys, but then I had the brilliant idea, why not put it into... That is not what I wanted to do. Why not put it into a little room, and I could just pick up a chunk as necessary. Anyway, except for steel, all recipes are 1-to-1 ratio of metal. I know I misspelled that because it wouldn't be one of my videos without me misspelling something. So it is 1-to-1, like Invar is 1 iron, 1 nickel. Doesn't change. The only thing that changes are the pressures and temperatures. Alright, carrying on. For alloys like Invar, a little bit of logic is nice. So if you look at Invar, which I have up right here, your temperature, or not your temperature, but your pressure range. Even your temperature range is pretty narrow, but your pressure range specifically is very narrow. You only have 2 megapascals of leeway to feed the furnace, input your materials, and then pull the lever to dump the contents as the Invar ingot. So, adding a little bit of logic to that, you really want... It will make your life a little bit easier. And what you can do, I actually am going to set up a small logic circuit using 3 logic pieces. I think this is what I need. Yep, this is all that I need because it has that switch. Alright, so I'm going to put that guy there. If you mess up, so say you are making a recipe, and this will happen more on the advanced alloys than it will on these because these are pretty simple, but if you mess up and you get your ratio wrong, using a centrifuge will get you back your materials. So it will turn the reagent that spills out of this back into ore. Now, when manually smelting like we're about ready to do, always be prepared to dump everything. Just, if it seems like it's gonna blow up, hit the pressure relief valve and get away. You might be able to stave off disaster. It's not a 100% guarantee, but be prepared to dump it all and start over. That being said, let's get into what we're going to do here. Now, so the most forgiving one seems to be solder, which is a 1-to-1 ratio of iron and lead. Its temperature ranges are, and I'm wondering if the internal wiki is off or something, but 76 degrees Celsius to 276 degrees Celsius, and the pressure rate is 1 megapascal to 100 megapascals. So, just sitting there as it is right now, I'm not going to be able to actually make solder. So I'm going to grab this guy, and we're going to open this guy up, and we're going to feed it 5 oxide. Okay, that's going to run. That runs pressure up pretty well. I think I can technically make solder now. I need that back, so let's just put these guys here and here. So while this is, I gotta hurry. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I threw the belt in. It's gonna blow. Okay, so something to remember. If you have a belt or whatnot and you throw it in, everything in that belt is gonna burn up. So it will actually use everything in it. And yeah, I just messed up my whole demonstration, but that is in part why I have this room full of ices. Yeah, that was unplanned. So we're gonna grab this. We're gonna grab one chunk of this, close the door, toss it in there. Alright. Pressure should go up. Now, I know that I typically tell you a 2-to-1 ratio, and this is a 50-50 ratio. There we go. That's a little bit higher than I wanted, but I can work with this. Alright, so that appears to be within any of the... might be a little bit too hot for solder, but it's gonna produce up the 50 grams of iron. Then I'm gonna throw in that. Now, as you feed it the various I apologize. Oh, yeah, it's a little too warm. So, as you feed it the various materials, it is actually going to absorb some of the heat and absorb some of the pressure. We're going to kick this guy on to lower the pressure a little bit faster. I put radiators on here. They will move a lot of heat out. So, just keeping an eye on this. Keep that pressure up. Drop the temperature, because according to this, it needs to be about 276 degrees Celsius to produce what we need. Now, an interesting thing about pipe radiators is they don't actually let out the heat or anything like that. Or they don't let out pressure, I should say. They just let out heat. So you can keep a reasonably high pressure if you do your setup right, while still maintaining control over your heat. That's why I put this in here, is to actually have a little bit more finesse over the heat element of the furnace. So 276, we're getting there. Will it drop below 1 before I get there? I hope not. Come on. Come on. Almost. I know that I could add hydrogen and it might bump up the pressure a little bit more, but it will definitely bump up the heat. Oxide has its own things as well. So, alright. Just double check that one more time. 276. We are almost there. 3. Let's cut that guy back down. It'll slow a little bit. Not too slow, but it'll slow down a little bit on its thing. Come on. You're almost there. There we go. Perfect. Boom. Solder. And off of ices. So, solder was the easy one. Invar is actually going to be your challenge, but I will also go through Constantan, which Constantan is nickel and copper. Its temperature ranges are 726 to 9,725 Celsius. Its pressure ranges are 20 to 100 MPa. So, it's a bit higher pressure. We could also make Electrum, which doesn't need quite as much on the pressure side, but it needs more temperature. So Electrum is 800 kPa to 2.4 MPa, and its temperature ranges are from 326 to 99,725 Celsius, which I don't think this can even get to, honestly, but the sun is up, so why does it disappear? Maybe because that counts as a solid object. Okay, nothing's melting in there. I have to wait a few minutes just because, well, actually, grab this guy. Hopefully I don't melt all this stuff while I'm doing this, so we're going to grab a couple of these. I can hold 12 of each with a little bit of extra. But I'm only going to put in 5 of each. Alright, so now we have fuel for the next one. Step outside, close that back up. Just to preserve it, we're going to go for Electrum, which, let's actually, okay, close this guy. Toss the reagents in there. Basically, I'm going to toss in the metals so they melt up, and then I'm going to toss in the fuel to try and manage the pressures that we need. So I'm going to throw in 5 of those. That bumped up the pressure quite a bit, but I need higher temperature. So because the pressure on that is so low, we're going to relieve some of the pressure. There we go. Perfect. Electrum. Alright. There's 2 down. Now. Copper, nickel. So this is Constantan. I believe I covered the recipe already, but we'll go over it one more time just to be on the safe side here. So, Constantan is nickel and copper. Its temperature ranges are 726 to 9725 Celsius. Pressure is 20 MPa to 100 MPa. So, I'll be able to get this kicked out, but I have to do it at a very high temperature. Are you melting? Yep. Oh, whoops. Get back here, you. Ah, no! Alright, put him in there. I need to chase down my rogue nickel. Got it. He's gonna melt. He should melt. There he goes. He melted. Now we throw this guy in there. I forgot to, and I left the thing open. Alright, so high temperature, kind of high pressure. We've already got about half of the temperature we need, so we're going to throw in one of those. And that's cut down. Let's throw in an oxide. We've got plenty of leeway here. As long as I could get this up to 20 without going too high on the temperature, I can... Oh, that's interesting. So oxide will drop your temperature some, but spike your pressure. Huh, interesting. Hydrogen, on the other hand, will run your temperature up, but not quite as much on the pressure. Though it does generate a lot of heat, so let's throw in one more oxide. Is that enough? Okay. We're going to throw in one more hydrogen. Okay, cool. We got in Constantan. So, Constantan. The last one is actually the trickiest of them all because its temperature is so low and its pressure gate, I'll call it, is so narrow. We're going to close this up. We're going to toss the iron in there. We'll toss both of these in there and then we can work. Actually, I might be close enough right now if it holds pretty steady. 1226. Okay, pop that. The pressure fell. Okay. See, yeah, this is the intriguing one. We're going to grab two of these guys so I have them on hand. And let's hope that I can do this. So we're going to throw this guy in there. And he needs 926 to 1226. So we've got that. Let's throw the oxide in there. That's going to bump the temperature up. I have to hit 20. So... Too much temperature, not enough heat. Alright. Wow, that drops like a rock. That shouldn't be blowing out. Oh, it's because... Alright. So, oxide in. See, this is where having the logic will come in handy. So we're going to throw some of that down real quick. And what we are going to do, there's two different things we could do. We could do a logic reader which will read the furnace. Or is there a slot reader? Well, there's a slot reader we can do, but we're going to go with just a logic reader because I think that will work. So we're going to put the logic reader right there. Then we're going to go with a logic writer, and we're going to put him there. And the last one that we want to put down is this switch. And this switch is going to be keyed to the logic writer specifically, just as an override. So what will wind up happening is, say you're mass producing something, and you toss iron in there and you are getting ready to throw in the nickel. What it will wind up doing is actually kicking out your ingredients you're putting in unless you have an override. So we need a screwdriver for this. Actually, hang on a second. Put this guy up here. We'll grab more ice. I can go over and mine some, or I can also... Alright, change this guy, move this guy. That's gonna annoy me, but that's okay. Alright, so power and data. Power and data. I slightly messed up. Okay, that and that with... Alright, so now that we have that as the basic setup, let's grab this screwdriver and we're going to read the furnace, and its output will be recipe hash. So what recipe hash is whatever is in here. If it counts as a full recipe, it will immediately read it and tell the logic writer something to do. Now the logic writer is going to be keyed to the logic reader. It's going to output to the furnace, and its output variable will be open. So technically right now, if I have something that actually acts as a recipe, it'll kick it out. What I do want to do here is grab this guy, and he is going to be keyed to the logic writer, which I think I bypassed, so back, there we go. And this is just going to be on. It is... Oh, that's because he's not on. Alright, see, just a power switch for the logic writer. Alright, so now we have it set up to where it is a recipe. It'll read a recipe and kick it out. So let us grab some fuel. At worst, I actually have to split up some fuel here, which I think I do. We'll put the screwdriver back in its proper place. Grab this belt. Open it with R. Grab these last guys. We're going to grab the 5 of them. And I don't like doing this, but I don't need to go out and mine this right now. We're going to just pop out one chunk of that. Let's put this guy here. We'll grab him, hit R so you can split, and split off a few. I've been doing these in stacks of 5 because that is a bit more controllable than dumping in an entire stack of a particular ice. That leads to explosions, and I keep overshooting by 1, so of course I overshot by 2 that time, because why not? There we go, drop that one. A few more times. I do apologize for this. I know this is tedious. I normally try to prepare this ahead of time, but I messed up. So, boop, and boop. And put this guy there, open him up with this. 1, 2, 1. I only have 4 of each. We'll grab an extra one of these. I thought I had more, but apparently not. Close that. Alright, so we still have 12 megapascals, and we don't have the heat we really require, but we can fix that. We're going to throw that guy in there. That'll ram the heat up really well. And for this, 926 to 1226. More pressure. Throw an oxide. Throw in another 5 of those. Whoosh. Alright, so we have... Come on. We have the pressure, we have the temperature, we just have to get into that range. Between 18 to 20. And we have to do it before it cools down beyond 926. So... there it went. Or there it should have gone. Oh, it didn't sit at it long enough. Alright, I messed that up slightly. So we're going to throw in that guy there. He should bump it up a lot. Okay. Yeah, so what will happen is once the temperature gets down enough, not enough, too much. I'm going to mess this up. But it's possible. Alright, one more hydrogen. Oh, way too high on the temperature. So it's really fiddly, just looking at it. Too low on the pressure. Alright. That should have done it. Okay, so I did it. I don't know why the logic didn't work. Maybe I set it up wrong, which... Furnace. Open. Logic reader. Yeah, I may have set that up wrong, but it happens. We're going to blow off the excess temperature there. Oh, yeah. That's what happens when you stand right next to the oven. 1,000 degrees. Holy moly, that's hot. So, anyway, that is how you make all of your standard ores. It is possible using only ice. I actually kind of got lucky with catching that because in theory it should have automatically opened, but I probably messed something up somewhere in the logic. Anyway, I will figure that out. I will actually go to Cows Are Evil because he actually has the setup for this logic. And I'll refresh my memory on that because I know that I forgot something or I messed something up. And yeah, with that, if you want an advanced furnace tutorial, go to look up Cows Are Evil on YouTube. He's got one of the best around. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, click that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below and please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.